这世界有个千年不变道理，那就是耶稣爱你。
Growing up, our house was always full of music, and it was something that I took for granted for many years, not realizing how much of a blessing it was and how much joy it brought into our home. You see, praise music was always a huge part of my parents' lives. Since they were young, Mom and Dad had always led their college fellowships in praise and singing worship songs. Dad on his guitar and Mom on her small electronic keyboard. And this was something that they carried forward even into their relationship and marriage and into our family. I remember so often waking up, especially on Sunday mornings, with Mom and Dad practicing in their room in preparation for Sunday worship. Sometimes it made me slightly annoyed that I couldn't go back to sleep because of their singing. Other times, they would have my brother and I join them in family worship. Dad would pass out printed music sheets that he copied from old hymn books. Mom would play the music on the piano and Dad would sing right next to her, leading us in singing praise songs together. This tradition of music never changed even as we got older. Anytime we would go visit my grandfather and eventually also my aunt's gravesite, Dad would always make sure to bring those printed out hymnals, and we would have worship right there on the hillside. Mom would often even bring her electronic keyboard from college. When it came to the holidays, again Dad would be sure to lead us in a time of family praise and worship, leading us in singing a combination of hymns and carols. At the time, I didn't realize just how much these times and memories would mean to me. This tradition of music was largely something that I grew up with, and only until recently have I realized just how much I now miss it. As Mom's dementia has continued to progress, the amount of music and joyful singing in the home continues to fade along with her. Over the course of the past 2 years, Mom has gradually lost her ability to play the piano, eventually also losing her ability to read hymn books and sheet music. But despite this, what continued to amaze me was how music was still able to bring her to life. She would often sing to music played near her, sometimes for hours at a time. Even on days where she couldn't even open her eyes to be aware of her surroundings, or days where she wasn't even able to speak a single word, somehow hearing music would still cause her to break out into song. Dad would often tell me that he wasn't even sure how she knew the words to all the hours of music she would sing to, as they weren't songs that they had ever sung together. These days, there are increasingly more days now where Mom is no longer able to sing out loud anymore, as she is often unable to even open her mouth. But even despite this, the power of music still causes her to break out into humming. And although she isn't able to do anything else, she will still hum the worship and praise songs quietly with her eyes closed. Although I have no idea what her experience of life is like over the past few months, and especially how it is now, as she heads into the final stages of her life, I can still see her inner joy and peace and her fire for life when she hums her worship music. And even though I will always miss those times where our family would sing together, and especially when I could enjoy Mom's beautiful piano playing and singing, I'm so thankful that even in these times, there is still beautiful music to be made and heard in our home.